Hello. Hello. It's a good day indeed. So, progress has been made. Starting to figure out something else. Like, you know what? How am I gonna get the freaking walk? Like, how am I gonna get the walking stuff like that? So I thought about, hey, what about if I just, just kind of how would I get the steps in, for per day? Well, I thought of, I mean, I already have a standing desk. I stand up, but like I need to walk around. So, I mean, if I'm watching a show, what I can do is I can just literally walk side to side, just throughout my entire room, and then bam, I get the steps in. So that's an inventive way, a little bit of an interesting way I could do it. I could burn a lot of calories. Now, the next part. What are they called again? Not really staying up with my workout stuff, to be honest. And let's see here. I checked today's weight, went to the restroom, make bed, water, wake up. Yep. Dishes, did that. Good. Take a shower, didn't do that yet, because tomorrow's shower day. Nap, didn't do that. I didn't start out for doing work, honestly, much at all today. Today I tried to make some progress. I had an idea of what I was gonna do. Get the top 2,000 German words, and study them. Or I was thinking of Anki. I mean, thing is, I just think that so we could give me like the most frequent ones. I mean, Anki could do the same thing, to be honest. So I've been thinking about doing that. That works too. Nonetheless, it's just whatever. I've been looking into the river method. It's something interesting I saw before. I wanted to try it out. And it makes sense. You kind of connect your prior information to current information to prior information that you remember, creating a web-like network, which is kind of how your brain works, at least as far as studies go. I'm gonna get some water. Give me a moment. Let me drink water. You know, something I had recently. Show this up. Okay. Bonk. Go all the way down. Okay. I looked into ego a bit more, and I thought about something. I think of ego is simply a tool used for the sense of self-identity, and as a survival mechanism, is a tool that humans use. And we are, in a sense, ego. People often use it too much, and it stunts their personal growth. People is a sense of self in a way, but at the same time, they're too full of themselves that it gets in the way of others' selves. And also, it stunts their own growth because a few reasons, mainly. How do you see this? I don't really have a good way of saying it, honestly. I can't think of a good way of saying it. But, I guess your ego gets too high. Other things come along with it. Could be overconfidence and other stuff. Thinking you're always right. You're never open-minded. Some other stuff like that. That's an example of some things. But there's other stuff hard to really explain, but I need to move on. Often, move on with the talk and stuff. Often through the fight or, flight response. Ego isn't an enemy. It's a misused tool. And a misunderstood one. A lot of people call it an enemy of sorts. It is essential for a sense of self. Without it, we are nothing more than a conscious, empty human amongst the billions. And the meaning of life is truly yours to discover. The self finds that meaning, and some align that meaning with themselves, meaning they embrace what their version of the meaning of life is, and they stay true to that meaning of their life. And that's what I think. When I was looking at a video, it was about how ego is your enemy, and I really just thought about ego for a bit, for like a solid 40 minutes. And that was when I developed a comment, and I actually sent it in there. And this is the comment I made. And, you know, it's something. Now, the 4 gatekeepers. This is a video I watched. But it makes sense. I mean, a good part is your life, your routines, and other things that are gatekeeping whatever your potential or what you could do is. The grind, you know, consistency, keeping that up. And then on the ego, in a way, is sense of self. And sometimes when you're trying to get to your goal, you may need to change yourself or adapt yourself or anything like that. And we go through different changes throughout our life in terms of ourself. So, yeah, it's another limiter. And then your own limit, what you perceive as your limit, or what is your limit that you can reach, but then there is something past it. You could say it's the gear of insanity. The idea that you go in, you seem insane to others. Maybe it is an insane plan. A shot for, it could end up bad. But often it seems to end up well. Like, for example, a friend I know, he loved mowing. So he went into mowing. You know, he changed up his life a bit. And he stuck on the grind. He really created a little hobby out of it. Kept mowing, expanding, and eventually he took all of his college savings, dropped college, and decided to go for a freaking lawn mowing business and and it worked out. It worked out too. Crazy. You know, and he's now a millionaire. But it was crazy. I mean, who would do that? Who would risk their college and their funding for college, everything, just drop it all just so they can go into lawn mowing? It's crazy. But he did that. And it worked out. And there's probably other examples out there. But not everyone tells the story. You know, I'll touch back on some things here before. Some stuff I put out. These are deep thoughts and stuff. These are never truly solidified ideas. These are things I throw out there. Sometimes you'll never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Now, that's true. Sometimes you never really realize. Wait a something. Like, example. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's a relative, maybe somebody else. Never know the value of the moment you spend time with them till eventually become a memory. Nothing else. I hope that there's more out there. You know, meaning of life is truly yours to discover. But I really wonder sometimes. Hope, fear, aspiration, after whatever else, all the different types of emotions and things, ideals we have about the world and things about it. I wonder if it all matters. You know, sometimes I think about that. Throughout the entirety of this world. And this is not something like any suicidal thing. No, this is just like a ponder, you know? A ponder into the unknown. Wondering what's out there. Because we don't know in the end. We really don't know. We may not know. Either forever, or at least a very, very, very long time. Maybe someday somebody out there will see this. Maybe the internet is preserved for a long time. Maybe my video that's unlisted, maybe it's somehow saved. Somebody sees this in the future. I'll never know. But what I will say is, I wonder if you're still alive then, and people still see this. Somebody out there in the future, like really far in the future, almost probably have a society I'd imagine would be interstellar space travel, which you know, feel like honestly, like that's such a privilege to be able to explore such the vast unknown. And I mean, I don't expect anybody to watch it, but if anybody did from that time period or whatever else, that'd be insane. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe somebody creates this the Star Trek Warp Core stuff, you know? What if that happens? We'll never know. Maybe somebody out there will figure that out for us. Nonetheless, Elon Musk will be doing that Mars stuff. Maybe someday I will go to Mars. If that ever happens. Some people say the world would die for, you know, like before 2030. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's way too pessimistic. And I'm way too optimistic. I think a realistic approach on the situation is that there will be turmoils and downs and ups. But in the end, I don't think anything crazy will happen in which changes the future of humanity in a way that's permanent. I think it's like we'll be able to persevere no matter what. If nuclear war happened, it wouldn't permanently put us down. It'd put our numbers down a lot. Or maybe, I don't know. It's just, I don't really see anything crazy that will end up in nuclear war. And if it does happen, then damn. What a great life. But, you know, let's just hope that doesn't happen. Oh, yeah. So I have a friend. Nobody really looks at this stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter if I talk about it anyway. But, I have a friend, Mimila. We'll say he's a bit of a... How you see this? A bit of a emotional warlord, I guess, in a way you could say. Feels like sometimes. I really hope things work out for him. Oh yeah, look at this. I might as well show you this. This is pretty cool, right? Hey, you know? Yeah, I took this. I looked online for what the most accurate personality test I could find, and this one actually scientifically proved that this more likely is the most accurate that you can find. Combining multiple personality tests and kind of having the... Yeah, sort of explain what it is. It's the most accurate. Rational optimist. You know, all this stuff here. Just slow down the video if you care. Don't think anybody cares, though. All I need to do is just, you know, have myself care about it. Yeah, all this stuff, don't care about it. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, this thing. I'm working on it. You know. I like it, I like it. Indeed. It's the top 1,999 words. Said top 2,000, but whatever the hell. It's whatever. Nonetheless, I've been working on that a bit. And I still need to work on more German practice. I need to do that. I've been thinking what's the most effective technique or anything like that, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna be wasting way too much time if I keep thinking about it. Maybe it's just best for me to go back to Duolingo. I mean, I've learned a lot of words and stuff, but I haven't learned fluency. I need to use the words. But then again, how do I recall them? I don't know. So many questions. I need answers. And I'll figure them out. Eventually. I need to also listen to this. Interesting. Complete German language transfer. was interesting. I think this is that. Okay, well, either way. Let's put this here like that. Boom. Okay. Now, I will say, I think it's time for me to head to bed after showing this. I mean, this is what I think is more likely to happen now. Back then, I was like, could be a possibility that we get a 5-wave in a move, but as time went on, I've noticed a rejection here before we even reached a 1.618. So that means I will not be looking towards a potential 3-wave. And it clearly shows we're not having that. Looks like a corrective move to the upside, and now we have this corrective move to the downside. Maybe that could happen. Could eventually get a bounce. I don't know where we're gonna get a bounce. Maybe we'll cut the low here before we get a bounce. Who knows? Who knows? What I will say is that if you're looking for something, you probably want a divergence first. So whatever the divergence you get eventually, you know, it's probably where you want to get your long at. Because I think it's more of a corrective ABC wave here. I mean, looks like it might want to do something like this. Maybe this. 1.618. Or maybe we go a little bit like this. You know, we'll see what happens. This would be a good place though if they were to go swipe. Right around here. This specific low would be a really good place to go right here. Do a little long. Bonk. I mean, if this happens, this ABC happens, then this is the trade I want to be in. This is where I want my trade to be. If I can get this, this is what I want. This is gonna get me the, if I can get the K6 money on time for this, then that'll be nice. Get this move, you know, take a long trade, blah blah, I don't know, friggin', you know what I mean. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens, and, you know, it is what it is. Now, I think it's time that I start getting ready to head to bed. Actually, I'll talk a little bit about today. My brother Daniel, he actually got into AIG. Supposedly is a thing for pretty much your kid's a genius. Has the potential. Now is he going to use that potential? Is he actually going to live up to the potential that he has? It's the real question there. But he has learned, I've convinced him to learn language. He's now interested in learning Spanish. Now if he continues with it, it'll be really interesting. It'll be interesting to see him about being a polyglot if that ever became a thing. I mean, 7 would be the right age to learn language. He's 1 year over that right now. It's not too far off. He still has a good chance to learn a lot of languages. Especially at a young age. I want to set him right. Maybe someday I'll show him this video. Maybe I'll show him this video. Maybe he'll see my logs. Maybe somebody will. Maybe I'll share these logs someday. Currently, I'm the only one that knows about it. And I'll keep it that way for a long time. A person who... Maybe that person in the future that I have who loves me for who I am. Maybe that person decides to watch. If they don't, that's fine. But I don't expect anybody to watch this. It's for my own sake. For my own recording, because in the future maybe I watch it. We'll see. Nonetheless, Christopher is going to be heading out. Okay. But yeah, I'm just chilling. Quite awfully chilling right now. Okay. Pause the video, just leaves. Nah, I'm gonna continue the music. I'm not gonna leave you on that. It's a nice music. It's nice music indeed. So yeah. I'm gonna let the music play, and then we get off. Okay. Well then, see you later. Have a good night to you. Love you all. Love you all.